The National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, held a meeting to determine the cause of the helicopter crash that killed NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, 6 others on board, and the pilot. And while it has taken over a year, the NTSB is ready to rule on the cause of the accident. While there was no black box in the helicopter when it crashed, it seems that pilot error was to blame. NTSB Chairman Robert L. Sumwalt concluded a February 9, 2021 press conference by saying that the tragedy was likely due to, quote, sudden loss of judgment.
Here's a case where a pilot who is well regarded apparently got into a very bad situation.
The flying conditions on January 26, 2020 were not favorable. There was fog that made visibility poor, and the pilot, Ara Zobayan, was not allowed to fly in such conditions. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, has federal regulations known as Visual Flight Rules, or VFR. According to the VFR, Zobayan was only allowed to fly in good weather or clear skies, neither of which were the case that morning. In fact, many of the day's flights had been grounded due to poor visibility. As it turns out, Zobayan became disoriented in the clouds. He had only been flying the Sikorsky S-76 for 39 minutes when he decided against an airport landing and instead tried to fly out of the clouds. According to an NTSB board member, the Van Nuys Airport was less than 12 miles behind them, which could have been covered within a few minutes of flying time. Unfortunately, instead of climbing, the helicopter descended rapidly. It crashed into a hillside, killing everyone aboard. There was no sign of mechanical failure. Instead, evidence suggests that rather than using flight instruments to guide him, Ara Zobayan informed air traffic control of his decision to try to fly higher, to get above the clouds. However, Zobayan unwittingly turned the helicopter left and began descending. Zobayan, it seems, had become victim to a phenomenon known as spatial disorientation, when a pilot is unable to determine their speed, altitude, or trajectory according to the FAA. NTSB Chairman Sumwalt explained in his press conference, literally, the pilot may not know which way is up or down, whether he or she is leaning left or right. On board the aircraft, in addition to Zobayan, was Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 6 other people. Gianna's basketball teammates, Alyssa Altobelli and Peyton Chester, Alyssa's parents, John and Carrie Altobelli, Peyton's mother, Sarah Chester, and their coach, Christina Mauser. They were headed to a youth basketball tournament at Bryant's Mamba Sports Academy in Ventura County when the helicopter went down in Calabasas, California. It remains unclear why Zobayan, who had already logged over 8,500 hours of flight time, thought that weather conditions that day were, to quote a text message he wrote, looking okay. As the Daily Mail notes, it wasn't the first time that the 50-year-old pilot had flown Bryant and his children. Rather, the two had flown together so often that they had become friends. Sources describe Zobayan as Bryant's go-to and his company's chief pilot. Zobayan's colleague Kurt Dietz further told the news source that Zobayan was not a known risk-taker, meaning his decision to fly the way he did would have been out of character. The NTSB was quick to point to the absence of evidence that Zobayan was drunk or under the influence of drugs during the fateful flight, nor is there evidence that Bryant put any pressure on his pilot to fly. Zobayan, however, may not have wanted to disappoint the NBA legend, according to NTSB analysis, as NTSB Vice Chairman Bruce Landsberg explained that this pilot really wanted to get where he was going, adding that Zobayan may have had a, quote, self-induced desire to fulfill his client's travel needs. Just maybe the NTSB findings will help Vanessa Bryant in some small way along on her journey with grief. Kobe Bryant's late wife marked the anniversary of Kobe's and Gianna's deaths with a heartfelt social media post telling followers, "I will never understand how this tragedy could have happened to such beautiful, kind, and amazing human beings. It still doesn't seem real."